Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Backyard Sportscast, the only sportscast where our speakers are playing village-building games.
Nice.
On their phones.
Proud of it.
With me, I have my co-host, DJ Dub, who did a wonderful job hosting by himself last week. Thank you for covering.
Yeah, solo dolo.
I have with me Joe Campamore, who's here regretfully. And we also have my cousin from Detroit, Derek.
Great.
Say hi to the audience, Derek.
Hello, audience.
Fantastic.
So, today we're going to be going over our bowl games. Bowl Mania. It's going to be fun. We're going to...
A bowl cast, if you will.
It's a bowl cast. Yes, thank you. Leave the puns to me. We're not going to talk about in detail all the bowls, because that just wouldn't be fun.
Yes, we are going to talk about every bowl. We're not going to go over
I just said in detail. You should listen to me.
All right, you're fair. That's fair.
I know it's fair.
Most of the time, the crap that comes out of your mouth doesn't make any sense, so... Sorry for interjecting. That time you were right, I was on the wrong thing.
Hey, crap might come out of my mouth, but look at the viewership for when I'm not on the podcast versus when I am. Would you have like one view knows me last week?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we had one out there with one view when you were on it, so...
Well, we're getting better. Anyways, this is probably going to take a while, so let's go ahead and jump right in. First, we're going to start off with the Celebration Bowl.
Thank you.
Go for it. I'm not talking about this game. I already said I wasn't talking about this game. Go for it.
Go ahead, Joe.
My pick is North Carolina A&T.
And who are they playing?
Over Grambling. Who dropped the state. They are now just Grambling.
The Grambling Tigers.
Yes.
You just said you wouldn't talk about it, but you just...
There is also no Vegas odds on that game.
For those of you who don't know, who don't understand what those names are, this is the FCS Championship match. The FCS has...
No, it's not. It's
not
even
not?
close.
Ooh,
No.
I messed up. I used to play in FCS too.
No.
I was looking at their bracket and I think I got confused.
This
They
is
actually
just
have
the
a fun-
Celebration Bowl. That is all this is.
Yeah, it's they say predominantly it's a bowl game between two predominantly black colleges that they...
Yeah, it's a team from the SWAC and a team from the MEAC.
Right. And they pit them against the champions of each one. They pit them against each other of the champions of historically black colleges.
And Grambling was the representative last year in the Celebration Bowl.
That's correct. I think
they
NCAA
won
was-
10-9 against North Carolina Central, I believe.
NC Central, yes.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
North Carolina A&T beat NC Central this year.
We have
in the
spent 2
championship.
minutes too long talking about this game.
Okay. I'm good.
But you got NCAA, right? That's your
I
pick?
do. I
All
want
right.
to know.
Great. Moving on.
There's our little dosage of FCS. Well, let's talk about the one that you want to talk about first.
No, let's just get into the actual bowl games that matter for the FBS. The
Okay.
thing we talk about all year. Do you even know who's in the FCS Final Four?
I was looking at it today, but their names are so crazy, so I don't remember them.
It's James Madison. It's North Dakota
Take
State.
the first guess and you probably
North
would
Dakota
have got it.
State, South Dakota State, and they're playing North Dakota State's playing Sam Houston State. I
Sam
believe.
Houston State.
There you go.
Sam Houston State's quarterback is actually projected the top 3 rounds in the NFL draft this year.
Carson Wentz might win the MVP this year from North Dakota State. There you go.
Fun stuff.
There you go. Fun facts. Anyway, on to the real bowls. The R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Troy versus North Texas.
Might as well be FCS.
Coming up Saturday, December 16th. Troy is favored by 7. This game is going to be played at 1 p.m. Eastern. Who you got?
Did you like it? Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, he actually really.
Who do I have? Well, this is actually a pretty good matchup. I was thinking Troy at first. They have the better record. They're at 10-2. But North Texas has a pretty good offense. Their quarterback Fine. He has 28 touchdowns this season, which is pretty cool.
Just got them.
And almost 1,000 yards more than the other quarterback. But I'm still gonna sit with Troy.
All right, that boy, good pick.
Yeah.
They just got North Texas just got destroyed by FAU. Troy all the way.
Yeah, I got Troy. They lead the all-time series 8-2.
I
Yep.
bet Troy as well.
Thanks, Derek.
Back when Troy and North Texas used to be in the same conference.
Yes.
Let's move on.
All right, next Saturday game, 2:30, Western Kentucky versus Georgia State. Georgia State's favored by 6.5. Both teams are 6 and Georgia State's actually 6-5. Western Kentucky 6-6. Who you got?
Western Kentucky has a worse record, so Georgia State.
What a thrilling analysis there. Go ahead, Joe.
Western Kentucky's 1-0 all-time against Georgia State.
Oh, that's...
So I'm going Western Kentucky.
All right. Well, you're just going to go with all-time records the entire bowl season? All right, that works for me. I'm going to go with Western Kentucky as well in an upset. Next game. Oh, I'm sorry.
Derek.
I'm sorry. Before we get to Derek, that is the AutoNation Cure Bowl.
Oh, we didn't state the bowl. Yeah.
There you go.
It's okay. I went with Western Kentucky as well.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
So I'm in the minority here.
Unanimous.
Yeah.
You
Screw
said you were going with Western Kentucky.
No, he said Georgia State. They had a better
He
record.
did say Georgia State.
Yeah.
I feel like such a minority. I should be in the Celebration Bowl.
Okay. And you know I'm not going to cut this out.
That's not that bad. Come on. That's not that bad.
That's not nice.
It's not bad.
It's not good.
Nobody listens to this.
Right, you're lucky
anyways.
that only 10 people listen to this. Anyway, the highlight of Saturday's games, the 3:30 game, number 25 Boise State versus Oregon in the Las Vegas Bowl.
The Las Vegas Bowl.
Oregon's favored by 7. Who you got?
They just lost Willie Taggart, so they're going to be a little upset.
But they just got Justin Herbert, their quarterback, back.
He hasn't played for how long?
A couple weeks.
Yeah, he's going to be a little rusty. So I'm going to go with Boise State.
Okay.
He was actually back already.
Well, yeah, last week, right?
Yeah, he played their last game. They went 5. He went 5-1 as a starter. He is healthy, and even though they lost Taggart, they promoted the offensive coordinator Mario Cristobal to the head coach. So they didn't lose a whole lot there. I think they still pull off the win.
They're a better team with Herbert, Oregon, and a romp.
You heard it here first.
I also have Oregon.
So Jay,
I think I picked Oregon in my Bowl Mania thing, too.
All right.
But
They do still have Jim Levitt though as their defense coordinator, so
not for long.
not for long. But they gotta wait until after.
By the way, for all you listeners that don't listen to the show, UIA is the group for Straight Up Bowl Mania on ESPN, and for Confidence Bowl Mania, it's BYBL. Password is the same as the group name. Come join us.
But you won't.
Probably not.
Let's
All
talk about the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl.
Okay. It's at 4:30.
Yep.
Colorado.
Marshall at Colorado State.
Mm-hmm. Not at Colorado State because this is a neutral site game.
I knew
Because
you
it's
were
a
gonna
bowl
say
game. Colorado State's 5.5-point favorites. I've got Colorado State. How about you guys?
I've got Colorado State.
All right, cool.
I've got Colorado State as well.
Nice.
It's
I have
also
Colorado
more
State.
like a home game for Colorado State though because it is played in New Mexico.
Yeah, whatever.
Thank you, Derek. There's Derek at the in-depth analysis.
Are you going to pick? Oh, they have the same record. What are you going to do?
I just said Colorado State.
Oh, okay, cool.
You have an issue listening to me.
I
You
do.
usually
I-
talk about me not reading
Right.
and listening.
I'm
like-
tuning you out tonight. That's my bad.
Mm.
All right. In the Raycom Media Camellia Bowl, what the fuck is that? We've got Middle Tennessee versus Arkansas State at 8 p.m. on ESPN. Arkansas State favored by 4.
I have Arkansas State.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the favorite as well.
I like the color blue more than the color red. I got the Blue Raiders.
Blue Raiders over the
Over the
Red
Red
Wolves.
Wolves.
Nice.
That might be all it comes down to is a color.
It's
That's my analysis, so I'm
very
sticking
possible.
to it.
And Arkansas State's only played 11 games.
Oh,
Yeah.
extra
Clearly,
game experience.
clearly that means a lot.
I flipped a coin for this one.
Nice.
Arkansas State.
That's why I went with the color. I mean, what do you-
And I thought when they did these bowl games, they were supposed to create a competitive environment. I thought that was the goal or the aim of these committees. Well, on Tuesday, December 19th,
Can I say the bowl?
go for it.
The Cheribundi Tart Cherry Boca Raton Bowl.
Perfect.
nailed it.
Perfectly done. On December 19th, Tuesday at 7 p.m., Florida Atlantic versus Akron. Florida Atlantic is favored by 22.5, and this game is being played in Boca Raton, so it is a de facto home game for
Right.
Florida Atlantic. But 22.5 is rather large for a bowl game.
Yes, it is.
Well, when you start getting into these 7-win teams,
And they're gonna cover. Go ahead.
Oh, I have FAU winning.
All right, great.
I won't say any more than that.
You don't have them covering
You
this?
startled me. Nah, I don't have them covering. It'll be closer.
Okay.
FAU in a blowout.
Nah, boy.
Devin Singletary, 4 touchdowns.
That's right. Up to 33 on the year. That'd be amazing.
I'm not saying it's not going to be a blowout. It could be a 3-score blowout, but 21 points.
Lane Kiffin for the win. We trust in Lane. That's it for Tuesday, December 19th. What about Wednesday, December 20th?
We have the double extra large Frisco Bowl.
The DXL Frisco Bowl. That is correct. 8 p.m. SMU favored by 5 over Louisiana Tech.
Ooh, I have Louisiana Tech winning.
This is a coin flip game for me. I'm going to go with SMU. I've taken a lot of favorites so far. I'm going to continue that trend.
Danny just likes taking the home teams.
There are no home teams.
Well, that's the ones you keep picking.
I'm picking the favorites.
There's a top team and a bottom team.
This one's a toss-up. SMU lost their head coach to Arkansas, but I hate Skip Holtz. I'm going with SMU.
I follow suit. SMU as well.
All right. Thursday, December 21st.
On Thursday,
Oh boy, here we go.
the bowl game is the Bad Boy Mowers 8 p.m.
And he just scared away all the listeners.
Yeah, the Bullcast,
Temple
the Bullcast
against
really needed
FIU.
that, right?
To find out which team is the baddest of the boys.
Temple's favored by 7.5. FIU's going to cover, but Temple's still going to win.
I have Temple winning as well.
Yeah, I think this is going to be close. Butch Davis, good coach. I think he's going to. Yeah, he's turned around that FIU program and kept them going pretty good. So I'm going to.
Mario Cristobal did fine there as well.
Well, I mean, he got the talent there, but I think Butch Davis is going to keep that team doing well. I do have Temple still.
Temple for me.
And in the next bowl, on Friday, December 22nd at 12:30 in the afternoon, the closest Cinderella story that a team like UAB is ever going to get, they're going to beat Ohio in the Bahama Bowl, proving they are the Bahama Mamas.
It's the Bahamas Bowl. Ohio's favored by 7.5. UAB is not going to make this game competitive, and Ohio's going to run all over them.
This team that just came back from extinction will win this bowl game after a great 8-4 season.
Great. It's not really extinction,
I know
but
it is.
When they come back.
But
Basically, I
whatever.
was trying to make a pun because it's dragons,
They're the Blazers.
I know, but it's a dragon.
Okay. Anyway, I got
Are you
Ohio.
really you're just gonna keep shitting on me today?
Well,
Or-
if you keep telling our listeners false information, I will. Anyway, also on Friday, December 22nd, also known as...
We're not going to get to say our picks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're just being a dick to everyone tonight, dude.
I'm sorry. Go ahead with your UAB Ohio
He had a taste
picks.
of doing this by
Everybody's
himself.
listening for these UAB Ohio picks. Go ahead.
He had such a fun time talking in a monotone voice for about a half hour last week by himself, and now he's just like cranky that other people are with him.
Mm-hmm.
Adding
ahead.
entertainment to the podcast.
Go ahead.
Bobcats in a romp.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bobcats as well.
All right. Imagine that. Okay. Friday, December 22nd. Also on this day, Frank, our senior analyst, it's his birthday. Frank, how old is he? Or Jake, how old is Frank going to be this year?
Nobody can know for sure, but I estimate he's going to be in his late 50s.
Late 50s, great. All right, we've got Central Michigan against Wyoming in the famous Idaho Potato
You
Bowl.
almost
Hey, I corrected myself. It's at 4 p.m. It's a pick'em, which makes it interesting for me because I can't take a favorite. I will say Josh Allen. I mean, he's got to give them a little bit of an edge against a MAC school, but he hasn't had the best year. They're still saying he's going to go top 10 though in the draft. I'll go with Wyoming just because of Josh Allen. Think he'll go out with a bang.
That's what I'm thinking, too. Go Cowboys.
All right.
Not so fast.
Oh jeez,
No.
the Chippewas.
The Chippewas are going to do it.
Disclaimer: he's from Michigan.
Not from Michigan, but
Currently residing.
Currently resides in
Yeah,
Michigan.
he flew on a plane from Michigan. So, who are you taking, Jake?
How can I put it in a way that's not going to piss you off?
Okay, great.
Not
I
at all.
want Wyoming to win.
You want Wyoming to win?
Yeah. I
So-
think they're going to win. I think they're
Okay,
going to cover
you
the
also
110
think
points
they're going to
spread.
win. Okay, great. Because that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to figure out who you think's going to win, not who you.
They're going to cover the 110 point spread.
Okay, great. All right, Saturday, December 23rd. I'll let you start this one off, Jake.
Okay. 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Birmingham Bowl.
Birmingham Bowl. Who's playing?
You have a USF team that had for the most part, a pretty good year. They went 9-2,
Except Houston.
and they get to showcase and get rewarded for their strong efforts by playing a bottom feeder in the Big 10, Big 12,
Yeah.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
I have USF winning.
I like Texas Tech, so I take some issue with his bottom feeder line.
They're like third to last or second to last in that huge ass conference.
Who's the bottom feeder in the
They
Big
haven't
12?
had a great year, but they're not. Yeah, the Kansas.
The Baylor team.
Well, Baylor this year as well, but Kansas.
Yes.
actually
No, you're right.
finished
They
fourth
are
in Big
the
12.
absolute bottom.
Yeah. So USF 2.5 point favorites. Who you got?
I just said USF.
Okay.
Listen.
All right.
Piece
You
of
got.
shit.
USF.
South Florida.
I'm gonna go Texas Tech. USF sucks on defense.
That is true.
So does Texas.
Yeah, it's going to be like a 65 to 59 finish.
USF played Houston and lost to them this year. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I believe Texas Tech also played Houston this year and lost to them. So with their mutual opponents, it should be a good game if they play the same
And
way.
USF also gave up 52
Hey, I
points
think-
to UCF.
I think a 65-59 game is a pretty good game. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be an interesting game, that's for sure. What do we have next?
We have the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Army versus San Diego State.
This was a tough one for me. I had rooting interest in both,
did
partially because of what you started with Army and the upsets of the week early on. Actually, Texas Tech beat Houston. I'm sorry about that. Texas Tech did beat Houston. Texas Tech, go Red Raiders.
All right.
I have San Diego State winning this game.
Perfect. Why do you have them winning this game? Is it because of Rashad Penny?
Not because of him.
Oh, it's not because of him that they went 10-2 this
No,
year?
yeah, it's because San Diego State plays like the same level of talent as anybody in the Pac-12 does, so they're definitely just that much better.
Yeah, it's a similar argument to what we had last week, right? Yeah. Same
Not
level of
last
talent.
week, you're by yourself.
Yeah. Okay. I've got San Diego State in a romp. I don't think Army's going to be able to compete with them.
I wouldn't call it a romp, but
Yeah, I rode the Army wave, and it's already ended. So,
Last week, one game.
huh? No, I mean they won, but I think the wave is finally dissipated. I think it's time we face reality. I think San Diego State wins.
San Diego State for me as well.
Rashad Penny, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. The last game of the day, the Dollar General Bowl. Appalachian State versus Toledo. 7 o'clock. Toledo's favored by 8. I'm going to go with Toledo. They just won the MAC. They looked really good against Akron.
have to imagine the cost of these seats are also only $1.
Oh, come on. People want to see an 11-win squad. Come on.
I have Toledo winning. They did pretty decent for Toledo this year. They played Miami pretty
Toledo's
close.
been playing really well every year for the last couple. They've had really good quarterback play.
Yeah. Interesting fact: this is a revenge bowl for Toledo, as they played Appalachian State last year in the Camellia Bowl.
And what was the score of that game? Do you know?
31-28 was the final.
Who won?
Appalachian State. So
What's
it
the
is
all-time record?
It is revenge for them. I don't know the all-time record. for
It's
these
probably not
guys.
very high. Appalachian State hasn't been.
I
FBS
think this is
for
only
that
their
long.
second time playing.
They also don't have Kareem Hunt, so.
They don't have Kareem
They
Hunt.
They do
either.
not have Kareem Hunt, but they
That's
do have
true.
Logan Woodside.
But I'm still picking Toledo.
I'm going with the Rockets as well.
Okay. The only game on Christmas Eve, Fresno State versus Houston in the Hawaii Bowl. Houston is favored by 2.5. I've got Houston.
2 words: Major Applewhite.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Fresno State.
That's what I was going to say.
Houston.
All right, there you go.
2 words. Fresno State.
There you go. Perfect.
They win.
All right.
This one was a coin flip for me as well. I pick Houston.
Jake taking some upsets. I like it. I haven't really done that much. All right, no games on Christmas Day. We go to the day after Christmas. Zaxby's Heart of Dallas Bowl. Utah versus West Virginia. Utah 6.5-point favorites because I do not believe Will Grier is playing in this game.
That's a good question.
Oh, I need to change my pick on Bowl Mania then.
Yeah, I made my. I
I was-
saw the preview and I changed my pick.
I didn't see it. Before I picked that one, I was like wondering if Wilbury was back or not.
It's not good news for West Virginia. I'm going to go with Utah.
Interesting fact:
Oh, boy.
Kyle Whittingham, the Utah head coach, 10-1 all time in bowl games.
Great.
That's a really good record.
Yeah. What's their record this
Utah.
year?
6-6.
Ugh.
They didn't play bowl games all year. That's why.
And it was a down year in the Pac-12.
I'm gonna say West Virginia anyways.
I'm changing my pick to Utah.
I'm gonna keep it with West Virginia on Bowl Mania, but I'm gonna go with Utah on this podcast. Hedge my bet.
There you go.
5:15 game. Weird start time. The Quick Lane Bowl. Duke and Northern Illinois. Duke 5.5-point favorites. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they lose. I had Duke winning only like 3 games this year. They surprised me, went 6-6. I think Northern Illinois is gonna come out and beat them.
I picked Northern Illinois because Duke screwed Danny out of money this year because they were supposed to only win 3 games.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm going Northern Illinois.
I'm gonna choose Northern Illinois to win the Kiffin Bowl.
Oh, because it's Lane. I see what you did there.
I'm going to keep it in the ACC and go with Duke. Yeah.
Safe pick.
I don't buy into all that bowl record crap for conferences at the end of the year. Anyway, last game of the day
On the 26th.
on the 26th. Cactus Bowl. Kansas State versus UCLA. Kansas State's favored by 2.5. I'm going to go with an upset. UCLA, Josh Rosen. They're going to put up 50 points.
I concur.
There you go.
UCLA.
There you go.
I think I had UCLA as well.
Kansas State closed out the year with big wins over Iowa State and Oklahoma State. I got Kansas State.
Gross. All right, moving on. Wednesday, December 27th. There are 4 games on the docket.
The bowl.
We're starting with the Walk-Ons Independence Bowl.
Because that's how Florida State performed this season. Like a bunch of walk-ons.
Southern Miss versus Florida State. Florida State's favored by 15.5 points.
And let's remember that Florida State had to reschedule a game late in the season just to be able to play this game. I hope it's everything they dreamed it would be.
Yeah.
I hope they enjoyed the...
Hey, they kept a bowl streak alive that was pretty important to the university.
Very. 36. 36 game. Game
longest.
streak. Longest in NCAA history.
Well, this game is definitely one that they can
It's funny
keep their
because
pride
it's
intact
funny
for.
because Florida
Florida's not playing
could have
it.
scheduled 2 games at the end of the year and not made a bowl. So here we are. Florida State 15.5 point favorites. I think they win. I don't think they win by 16 or more. So
Yep.
That's what I
They don't have Derwin James. They don't have Derek Nottie. They don't have.
which is weird because Odell Haggins is going to coach this game and Nandi basically loves Odell Haggins, but he's not going to play for him. So all right.
I think Southern Miss is going to win. They don't have a coach anymore. They're missing some players. I think Southern Miss is going to be the ones that are winning, that are going to take home the shrewdly printed out certificates for winning this bowl.
A 16-point underdog. Wow, impressive.
No, it's not. Wouldn't be the first one I called with that big of a upset.
Cam Akers is going to run for 175 yards. You sure you're ready to make that prediction?
Yeah.
Okay.
FSU leads this tightly knit all-time record.
Jesus Christ.
13-8.
13.
13-8.
Great.
All-time FSU leads over Southern Miss.
And
So
if
13
any FSU team is going to blow
They're
a record
13-8
like that,
all-time
it'll be
against
this
Southern
team.
Miss. 6 of those wins for Southern Miss came before Bobby Bowden was the head coach.
Yeah, I
there,
was
though.
going to say, they got
So-
to be in like the 60s right after they transitioned. And,
It's been a while.
yeah. Florida State's early years weren't kind to them.
I got Florida State.
All right. Next game, it's an interesting one. Iowa and Boston College in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl. They play this game at Yankee Stadium. Iowa 3-point favorites. This is going to be a lot of running the ball. I don't know what the weather's going to be like during this game, but if it's anything like the Bills game from last weekend, I am down for a
I'm
run
watching
fest.
it. I'm watching it.
Actually, while that was going on in Buffalo, NYC didn't really get any snow at all. So
Oh, really?
yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm going to go with Boston College. They're really good on the offensive line, and they can run the ball, as we saw against Florida State when they beat them by 30. So I'm going to go with Boston College.
Well, let's talk about what we saw with Iowa when they beat Ohio State by like 30.
They beat them by what, 24?
Something like that. 14-14, I think.
55-31.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, something like that.
I got Boston College in an upset.
All right, there you go.
Iowa. I'm going to avoid making any puns about them playing a baseball game for this bowl.
Okay.
This is the first time Iowa's ever played Boston College. I thought that was interesting because they've both been around for a long time.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I got Iowa.
All right.
Let's talk about the Foster Farms Bowl.
Foster Farms Bowl, 8:30.
Purdue against Arizona.
Arizona's favored by 3.5. Khalil Tate, surprise performer of the year. Can't really throw the ball that well for a quarterback, but he can certainly run. I think he ran for over 1,300 yards. He only started like 8 games maybe. So I'm going to go with Arizona in a romp.
Arizona.
Purdue just lost their coach as well, Jeff Brom.
Arizona.
Where'd Brom go?
Hmm?
Where'd Jeff Brom go?
Couldn't tell you. Honestly, I thought he left. I could be wrong. He could have just been linked to a million different
He was
jobs.
supposed to go to Tennessee and turned it down. I
He was
think
linked to a
he's
couple
still
others.
there. Yeah.
Maybe he's still at Purdue.
I don't know.
If he's still at Purdue, it doesn't matter. Khalil
It
Tate's
doesn't
gonna
really
run.
matter. I think Arizona wins.
All right. Last game of the evening on the 27th. Texas versus Missouri in the Academy Sports and Outdoors Texas Bowl. Seems unfair that Texas is in a Texas Bowl, but, Missouri's favored by 3, that high-powered offense.
That's the award they get for having a better record than last season.
This is the age-old story of top-tier defense versus top-tier offense. Who you got?
I got Texas.
All right, you got defense.
Missouri lost their offensive coordinator, Heupel, so I think that's going to impact their offense, personally.
All right.
Texas all the way.
All right.
What did Texas go last season?
5-7. And wouldn't you know it, they were ranked to start this year. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. I still have Missouri winning.
All right, I'm going to go with Texas.
There's Dady's Northern accent coming up.
As much as I hate Texas, I'm going to go with them to beat Missouri here because I hate Missouri even more.
Same.
All right, perfect. There are 4 games the following day, December 28th.
This is where the fun stuff starts to come in.
All right, Jake, why don't you lead us off then?
We have the Valero Alamo Bowl, where we have...
Why would you start with the last game of the day?
They have it first on my screen here.
Oh, it's because
Because he has favored Stanford.
you favored Stanford, so that's why they're first. I'm sorry. We can talk about this. Go ahead.
Mental note that this is one of the last games of the night.
Yeah.
Number 13 Stanford at number 15 TCU. And almost every part of my body wants me to say Stanford will win this game, but I just have a feeling Bryce Love will not play a lot, if at all, in this bowl game.
Really?
Seeing that he's been struggling, fighting against injuries pretty much the last half of the season.
He's had a lot of time to heal, though.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if he's looking to go into the draft, he's probably not going to try and risk getting hurt, that kind of thing. And did you see him play against USC? Like, he would limp off the field after every run, wait to play, and then go back in there and limp after another rush. So he's probably not going to risk further injury, and I doubt I just don't think he plays much. So without him, I don't think Stanford has a good enough offense to fight against TCU's defense. So TCU is winning. No, I think he's a sophomore.
If he's a redshirt sophomore, he can go to the draft. If he's a true sophomore, he can't go into the draft. So I don't know what he's going to do about that, but I've got TCU as well. I just think they're a much more balanced team than Stanford is. And if, like you said, Bryce Love doesn't play, Stanford may not put up 10 points. So
Yeah, that's true.
TCU played in the Alamo Bowl 2 years ago against Oregon.
There we go.
Look, he's giving us some good insight.
Overcame a 31-0 deficit against Oregon
That was a bad year for Oregon.
and won.
This is Lee Corso right here.
Yeah.
What? Not so fast, my
Ah,
friend.
here you
There it
go.
is. That's the second time that's been said today.
I have Stanford. You know how many times Lee says that?
Why do you have Stanford?
It's okay.
Because I think Bryce Love actually plays the whole game, and I think he rushes for 175 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, jeez, against that defense? Okay. Yeah, I think that's the best defense in the Big 12.
Fear the tree.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I'm talking about, Derek.
Stanford.
I love you, Derek.
I have a problem with Hey, shut up. You took TCU.
I know, but it warms my heart that they have faith in Stanford.
They're about the only two people in the world. Anyway, back to the beginning of the day.
Washington State at Michigan State
Oh,
in the
geez.
San Diego County Credit
He
Union
went for
Holiday
the
Bowl.
back end again.
And then another 9 o'clock game at night.
Yeah, because
The
the
San
Pac-12
Diego-
teams are used to playing at 9 o'clock. No, I'm going to cut you off because you went out of order.
San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl.
Great.
That's fun. Try and put that on a poster.
I'm sure they did.
All right. Washington State, Michigan State. Who you got, Danny?
Well, Michigan State is awful, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Washington State. They're only favored by 2.5, but if Luke Falk plays and he plays well, this is going to be a romp.
I have Washington State.
I have Washington
If
State
Luke
as well.
Falk plays, then I think it's going to be a romp.
You with us, Clasher?
Yeah, I have Michigan State in this game. It's the first time they played each other since 1977.
Okay. Great analysis.
Did you do anything at work today?
Anyway, next game, since we're going in this order, number 22 Virginia Tech versus number 19 Oklahoma State in the Camping World Bowl, 5:15 p.m. Oklahoma State favored by 4.5. Who you got?
Oklahoma State.
All right.
They've had a bad last half of the season. They're going to rebound.
Mason Rudolph all the way. I'm with you.
I have Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I've got the Cowboys
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ACC
Sweet.
can suck it.
That's fine. Like I said, don't care about those records. And the first game of the day, Virginia versus Navy in the Military Bowl, presented by Northrop Grumman at 1:30 p.m. Virginia's favored by 1. I've actually got Navy in their option offense. Think they're
I
gonna
like
take it
Navy
to
as well.
Virginia.
2 words: Bronco Mendenhall.
Geez, so you're going Virginia.
I got Virginia.
Okay.
I got Virginia as well. No one likes those triple option teams.
Love them.
I like the midshipmen in this one.
Yes, thank you. Clearly we're a table divided.
Yes.
All right, Friday, December 29th, we got 5 games. Starting with the Belk Bowl, Wake Forest versus Texas A&M. Wake Forest actually favored by 3. I'm going to take the underdog, A&M, without Kevin Sumlin. Going to come in, Kellen Mond, going to tear up that Wake Forest defense.
Oh, yeah, I like Texas A&M, too. I think that's kind of crazy. In a world where Wake Forest is favored over an SEC school.
Well, they lost Kevin Sumlin, so understandably so. But
But look who they're
Jimbo
getting.
Fisher.
Yeah.
The QB guru.
I got Texas A&M.
You can have him.
I got Texas A&M too.
Now let's talk about the Hyundai Sun Bowl.
Screw Jimbo Fisher. Sorry.
Hyundai Sun Bowl. Number 24, NC State versus Arizona State. NC State favored by 6.5.
NC State had a great year with one of the youngest coaches in college football. I want to see
Dave
them
Dorn.
finish strong. The guy's like his early 30s.
Yeah. Virginia Tech also has a young one, Justin Fuentes.
I don't care about Fuentes.
Well, I think he's younger than Dave Dorn, so I think
The only
it's relevant to the
Fuentes,
conversation.
the only Fuentes that holds a place in my
So
heart is my old
Northern
geometry
Illinois, I think.
teacher.
Okay.
Fantastic, then. I've got the Wolfpack.
NC State.
I have NC State.
Bradley Chubb, you probably shouldn't play in this game, but I don't know if you will.
Arizona State hired Herm Edwards. I can't root for them.
Why can't you root
Why?
for Herm Edwards? Hey, Herm Edwards is a
He's
likable
awesome.
guy.
He's funny. I am looking forward to his press conferences again.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a terrible hire. I do not see what they like in him.
We'll see.
I like the guy as a person. I think he's hilarious. But as a coach, I don't understand.
I love his stoic look on his shows.
Jury's out on if he's going to be successful. Yeah, but we'll see.
Exactly.
All right. Next up, we got the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Kentucky verse number 21 Northwestern. Northwestern favored by 7.5.
You can kind of guess how good the Bulls are based on how many words are in the name.
Yeah.
The more words, the less.
Well, some of them you don't really refer to. Like the Sugar Bowl, you refer to as the Sugar Bowl, but it's not just the Sugar Bowl.
It kind of is just a Sugar Bowl.
No, it's got a sponsor.
Yeah, look at the Rose Bowl's name. That one's long.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Anyway, Kentucky and Northwestern. Northwestern's ranked because they're coming into this game really hot. I think Kentucky pulls an upset. Who you got?
I had Kentucky in the Bowl Mania.
All right, go for it.
It's the Wildcat Bowl.
It is Wildcat versus Wildcat.
They've only played each other one time. 1928.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who won that game, though.
So you looked up.
You looked it up, but you don't know who won it.
You know, that's rough, man.
No, I didn't look up the all-time record. It was a part of the preview on ESPN.
Gotcha. This game is being played
I got Northwestern.
closer to Kentucky than it is to Northwestern.
I have Northwestern as well.
I like Fitzgerald
There's
over
a
there
divide.
in Northwestern.
All right. The Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl. New Mexico State versus Utah State. New Mexico State favored by 4. I could flip a coin on this one. Honestly, I don't even care who wins this game. To be honest with you. Just going to say Utah State, the underdog. They're going to take it.
Going with the Beehive State school.
The
Utah
what?
State.
The what?
What? What did you just say?
The
The
Beehive?
Beehive State.
No, it's the Salt
you.
Lake State, idiot.
You're an idiot.
Okay.
I've got Utah State as well.
So we learned some things. This is the Aggie Bowl, if you wanted to get technical with it.
They are both Aggies. Yes,
There you
you're
go.
right.
I like New Mexico State. And you know what else I like, Danny?
What do you like?
I like how Nova does not look at prior credit when giving you home loans. Nova is a great company.
I'm sorry, are you trying to get us sponsored right now? What is this?
The hospitality and the kindness that they treat all their clients is just, it's unmatched.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Nova Home Loans.
That's fantastic. I didn't realize we had somebody from Nova Home Loans here on the podcast today. And in the only game that matters on this day, USC versus number 5 Ohio State in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Ohio State favored by 7.5. And I'm not sure why they don't have USC's rank on here. That is odd.
They're ranked 8th.
They're 8.
Okay, there you go. But I'm actually going to go with the upset. USC, Sam Darnold, is going to get it done versus Ohio State and JT Stupid Barrett.
Sam Darnold's appendage has been in Danny's orifice all season.
Mm-hmm.
And he's finally, this is the last game before. So I can see why you would pick USC. That being said,
Todd McShay had it going number 1 to the Browns. That was interesting.
Oof.
And they had Rosen going number 2. I'm not sure who's number 2 right now.
The Giants? Or, yeah, it'd be the Giants.
Yeah. Interesting.
so Ohio State averages about 100 yards rushing on defense per game.
Giving up,
and
okay.
Sam Darnold's USC tends to rely a little bit more on their rushing game to
Jones.
balance everything out. Yeah, with Jones the second,
Yep.
not Junior the second. So
Who said junior?
I'm
Oh, I got you. You're clarifying. Okay, go for it.
JT Barrett is really good, and I think Ohio State and with Urban Meyer, give Urban Meyer 3 months to prepare. Or not 3 months. I'm sorry, about 3 weeks. 3 weeks to
entire
prepare.
season.
Yeah.
He's been February.
He's been circling this game for a long time.
Give Urban Meyer 3 weeks to prepare for a game. I don't think anybody's got a chance. So I have Ohio State.
Man, I wish he would have been in the playoff then. We could have just called him we would have said he would have won his semifinal game, even if he was playing Clemson. I mean, you give him 3 weeks, he can beat anybody.
Stop it. No, they wouldn't be Clemson.
No, I mean Ohio State's favored for a reason, but Sam Darnold in the ground game, their offense.
And
is
Ohio
really
State
good.
is the home team, so
I just don't think JT Barrett's as
HFA.
good as he's getting credit for. I don't think he's good at that well throwing the ball.
JT Barrett.
Yeah,
They're playing
I
Texas.
think
He's a total product of the system.
and I think they're gonna make USC's gonna make him pay for some of his mistakes. this
JT
year.
Barrett has almost 3,000 yards passing and 35 touchdowns.
Yeah, he
He's a
does.
product of the system.
Oh, you heard it here first.
I don't think it's the first time anybody said that.
He
I
could.
guarantee you
I
that.
mean, let's be real though. In the same system last year, he couldn't put up those numbers. So he's improved as a passer.
he's gotten better. No, without a doubt. But again, I mean, he's gotten better in the system. I don't think you put him in the pros that he does.
Oh no, he's not a.
He
He's
does
not a
anything.
great pro quarterback.
Um,
All that matters is he wins this game.
And that's why I had the Buckeyes.
Oh, there you go.
As much as it pains me, I had the Buckeyes too. They're going to get after that Wisconsin loss, and they're ready to win.
Yeah, let's be clear. I'm not happy that I chose Ohio State.
This is totally being unbiased here because I went with FSU. I went with Ohio State.
The only reason you're being unbiased is Florida's not on here.
That has nothing to do with it.
How many SEC schools have you gone with, huh? Let's roll back the tape.
No.
Yeah,
Let's
roll
not do
back the tape. Roll back the tape.
No, let's not do that.
All right, anyway. Moving on to Saturday, December 30th. Louisville versus Mississippi State. Who you got, Joe?
In the Tech Slayer Bowl.
I got Louisville.
He's going against the SEC. Going against...
Well,
Nick
Fitzgerald's hurt and Fitzgerald's out and Mullen's gone. I mean, what's left
I
over
don't
there?
think
And
that...
Lamar
I don't-
Jackson.
I don't think
And
coaches...
Lamar Jackson, right?
I don't
exactly.
think coaches matter that much in bowl games, honestly. I really don't.
Especially when you have
No new coach, no interim coach is coming in and uplifting the entire system. They're running the same thing you guys have been running all year. They're not changing anything.
I think coaching decisions play a big part. And it depends on how much of a factor Mullen played into their actual offense and everything like that, too.
I think if you're in a bowl that you might deem not as a big deal, I think the coach plays a big role in motivating the team to want to put in that extra mile to try and win the game. So I think coaches play a pretty big part of it.
I mean, I think an interim coach can do just as good of a job, especially if he's been with the team all year.
Well, I mean, in that instance, like I picked Oregon still because Mario Cristobal, I think, would not have
not
them
missing
lose
a
a
beat.
step. Right. I think what takes a bigger blow for Mississippi State is the fact that their starting quarterback is out.
No, that's definitely more important. Do we think Lamar Jackson does well against an SEC defense this year? Last year, he got shut down by LSU.
Yeah, Louisville.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson does just fine. Louisville
Mississippi
wins.
State. LSU's not Mississippi State though.
Mississippi State's better than LSU. Let's get that right. Well, they beat him by 30.
They did. You're
So, I got Mississippi State. I think they're going to shut down Lamar Jackson.
right. All right.
I've got Louisville.
I already said Louisville.
Yeah,
Louisville.
All right, let's move on to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl.
nice.
12:30. Iowa State at Memphis.
Memphis favored by 3.5. I got Memphis.
Memphis is also still ranked.
Here's a fun fact: Memphis scores a lot.
They do. They do score
They
a
score
lot.
a lot.
As a
I
matter
got
of
Memphis.
fact, they're the number 2 scoring offense in the nation, I believe.
Nice.
I believe. That could be wrong.
That's crazy that 3 AAC schools are in like
Say
the top
behind UCF?
5
Behind
in
UCF.
offenses.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And Iowa State is on the decline. Let's be real. They started
yeah.
out great. Not so well at the end
People
of
have
the year.
figured them out.
They're now
Cyclones.
7-5. Yeah, the Cyclones had their moment in the...
Yeah, I got Memphis.
All
I
right.
got Memphis as well.
Next up, we got the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl.
4 o'clock. Number 11 Washington at number 9 Penn State.
Penn State favored by 2, even though it's not at Penn State. It's at a neutral site.
But at Memphis, you didn't say anything.
I'm sorry. Clearly I missed that. But who you guys got in this one? I got Penn State in a romp.
I have the PlayStation U.
Penn State. You saying Penn, State.
Whatever.
Oh, I've got Penn State too.
I got the Nittany Lions.
All right. Glad we're all on the same page. Last game of the day.
Joe Pa's team.
8 p.m. Number 6 Wisconsin versus number 10 Miami in the Capital One Orange Bowl.
And here with me is a guest picker, my father, Joe. Hey, Joe. We have the Capital One Orange Bowl. We have number 6 Wisconsin playing number 10 Miami. Who do you have winning this game?
Miami.
All right, taking the underdog.
I got Miami.
Miami has played pretty well against tough opponents this season and plays awful against bad opponents. I think Miami's going to rebound. They're going to win.
I've got Wisconsin.
I've got Wisconsin as well.
It's-
Malik Rozier is
they're
terrible.
They're too much for Miami.
Wisconsin has played a worse record than like anybody in the AAC, and you think they're going to beat Miami?
Miami looked real good against Clemson, huh?
And Pitt.
Miami's on.
Wisconsin's in the Big Ten.
Yes, they are.
I mean, come on.
All right, that's fair.
You heard it here first. Thanks, Joe.
All these guys took the Big Ten Ohio State over USC, though.
It's just the Pac-12. It's even worse.
Okay. Well, here you go. Michigan versus South Carolina in the Outback Bowl. Big Ten versus SEC.
You know
Michigan
who I
favored
got?
by 7.5. Who you got?
I got Michigan.
Oh, look at that.
You know why?
Why?
Because of that. They are still mad that Jadeveon Clowney hit the running back in 2012 and knocked his helmet off.
No, he didn't hit him. He killed him.
Murdered is a better word.
Yeah, South Carolina, actually, I have beating Michigan. I don't think John O'Korn will be able to produce enough offense. And South Carolina will do something to score here and there. Might be some help with their defense, but I like South Carolina.
I think Michigan will do enough on defense to win the game.
I'm
Low
going with
scoring.
the second hometown team,
It'll definitely be low scoring.
Michigan Wolverines.
There you go.
You're so biased, Derek.
these
That's why
games-
you've never been on the show.
These games are on January 1st. Next up, we've got the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Number 12, UCF, the only undefeated team in the nation, versus number 7, Auburn, the only 3-loss team in the top 10. So we've got Auburn favored by 9.5. Who you got?
I got Auburn in a romp.
All right.
Oh, man. I am so excited for this game because I really want to see how well UCF plays up against a pretty good SEC school. I still have Auburn winning, but this is probably one of the most exciting games I'm ready for in this bowl season.
Don't get too excited. This game's going to be over by the end of the first quarter.
I have Auburn killing UCF.
Yes, I do as well. And I graduated from UCF.
Do you think they're a little salty about Frost leaving?
Yes.
I just don't think they
So a
have.
coach does play into the bowl season.
No.
They're also.
I think they're salty that he left
They're
because
also
of the way he left. I don't think it has any impact on this game whatsoever. Scott Frost may even coach in this game, by the way.
What's so bad with how he left?
Well, let's see. It was announced in the middle of the American Conference Championship game, and nobody was told before the game that he was leaving.
Yep.
And obviously he had agreed to it. So,
I thought it was hilarious when the person asked him after they won the game, like, "Hey, there's allegations about you coaching over there," and he's just like, "I'm just gonna go celebrate with my team."
yeah.
They're also salty that they stayed ranked like 18 the entire season.
Yeah, I think UCF's got a lot to prove it. They've got nothing to lose. They could come into this game, get blown out, and still be 12-1 and the best power or group of 5 school in the nation. They come in and beat Auburn. It's going to
That'd
be
be huge for that
statement.
conference and huge for UCF.
Yeah, I mean they already did this to Georgia and Baylor in the last 7 or 8 years. As far back, they beat Georgia when AJ Green was there. They beat Baylor when RG3 was there. So.
Yep.
I still have Auburn, just to be clear, but it would be great to see UCF.
I don't know if it'd be a romp. I think UCF might be.
It's
able
the
to
number
keep
one
it a little
scoring
close.
offense. We'll see how well they do against Auburn's defense.
Yeah.
A little more talent.
Auburn's defense has lost 3 games this season. Shitty. Next up, the Citrus Bowl, presented by Overtons. Overtons. Get your shit towed.
Are they even a towing company? Okay, you've got no idea. Great.
I'm contracted to talk about football, not about towing companies, Danny.
Well, then why did you bring it up? LSU favored by 3 over Notre Dame. I've got Notre Dame.
I have Notre Dame as well.
I believe in the Bush. I got Notre Dame.
Joe can't stop thinking about Bush. What about you, Derek?
Sorry, what game is it?
Notre Dame or LSU?
I threw him off.
Notre Dame. I got Notre Dame.
Man, I'm just picking all these teams I don't like.
Yeah. All right, we're down to the 2 playoff games and then the national championship.
And we'll talk about the playoff games next week.
No. All right, here you go, Jake's theory on the longer the name. Rose Bowl game presented by Northwestern Mutual matches Georgia versus Oklahoma. Georgia favored by 1.5, even though they are the 3 seed. Who you got?
Ooh, I got Oklahoma.
You got Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield. You're a believer now, huh?
Their offense is crazy.
Yeah. You like that Baker Mayfield now, don't you? Yeah.
3 words. Baker, motherfucking Mayfield.
All right. See, so you combine the 2. All right, cool.
It was all one word.
All right, cool. All right, Derek, who you got?
I've got the Sooners.
Wow, everybody going with the underdog, technically the 2 seed, but
Our senior analyst, Frank, would not be happy about that.
and I'm going to agree with Frank and go with the Georgia Bulldogs. This game won't even be close. Won't
You
even
like
be
Baker.
close. Georgia's balanced on both sides of the ball. Oklahoma is not. Georgia's going to keep Oklahoma under 24 points. Georgia's going to score over 30 points. I've got the Bulldogs. Moving on.
See, I don't think I can see Georgia winning. I don't see it going down like that. I think Oklahoma still puts up a lot of points.
It's very possible. I just think that Georgia's balanced on both sides of the ball. They're going to be able to control the time of possession. They're going to be able to control the game with their run game. And really, if they can stop Baker Mayfield throwing the ball, he's not going to run all over you. So,
Yeah, but on the flip side, too, if Oklahoma's scoring a lot, I don't know if Jake Fromm's going to be able to keep up.
if it's a shootout, Oklahoma's going to win this game.
Yeah.
But if Georgia's defense comes to play, Georgia should win this game.
Well, like you had mentioned on a prior bowl, too, this is a good old-fashioned one side's got a really good defense and the other side's got a really good offense.
Typically, I don't believe in Heisman winners in their bowl games. I just don't.
Yeah, well, historically, it's not on their side. I'll tell you that.
So, I got Georgia moving on to the national championship. Now, in the other semifinal, the All-State Sugar Bowl.
Year 3, Alabama versus Clemson.
Yes, this is the third match of Alabama-Clemson in a row. 8:45 kickoff. Alabama favored by 2.5, even though they are the 4 seed. Who do you have? Meeting for you guys, Oklahoma, and for me, Georgia, in the final.
Bama.
Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts bad.
I've got Clemson.
Thank you.
Give Nick Saban like 2 months to prepare for this game.
I mean, I guess it's fair because he didn't technically have all that time to prepare for them the last two games they met each other. But
Nick Saban doesn't lose 2 in a row.
okay.
And Nick Saban didn't have to worry about the SEC championships. They've been preparing for this game. They already knew they were going to go in because they're Alabama. So they already knew this was going to happen.
You know, when Nick Saban's team's up for a playoff spot, even though they don't
Especially
win their
when you
conference.
don't win your conference, you shouldn't get in a bowl game.
Hey, that's what Nick Saban said, but not this year. He changed his tune a little this year because his team was on the line. But I got Clemson.
Do you know?
I do. I've got Clemson. I know that this is basically the same Alabama team that lost to Clemson last year, and Clemson lost a lot from their team last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think Kelly Bryant will be healthy. I think Jalen Hurts is actually regressing. He's not progressing.
And Danny just has a vendetta against Alabama.
You can say that all you want, but I don't think Bama deserves to be in this playoff, and I don't think they're going to win this game.
Who would? I mean, I understand
Ohio
your point.
State.
You think Ohio State deserves this?
Over Alabama, yes.
I don't know about that.
Well, can you without a doubt say Alabama is better than Ohio State? Without any doubt in your mind that Alabama is better than Ohio State?
Yes.
You can? Okay.
I can.
I can't without a doubt.
Okay.
But
And see, if you can't without a doubt, then you go to the tiebreakers if you're the committee, and the tiebreakers favor Ohio State in pretty much every category.
not in losses and
Well, if we're
big
counting
losses.
losses, UCF should be in. Alabama, let's
I'm
get this
talking
straight.
about tiebreaker.
Alabama lost by 12 to Auburn. In reality, that game could have been a 20-point loss for Alabama. They got absolutely dominated in that game.
Yep.
So did Georgia against Auburn, but Georgia was able to rebound against that.
Yeah.
So that one.
Everybody can rebound. What does that matter?
Ohio State did.
Ohio State rebounded too.
But my point is too.
If you can say without a doubt in your mind that Alabama's better than Ohio State, without any doubt, even though they've never played each other within this year, then you obviously agree with the committee, and that's fine.
Yes,
But I don't. For me, I can't see how they're undoubtedly better than Ohio State. Not even close. They didn't play anybody on Ohio State's level other than Auburn, and they got absolutely dominated by Auburn.
But Ohio State hardly played anybody on Auburn's level, and they got dominated by Iowa.
They played Penn State. They beat Penn State. You don't think Penn State and Auburn are on a similar level?
Is that as many people? Yeah, they are, but still, if you can lose to a shitty team like Iowa.
And didn't Ohio State run through Michigan State, who's ranked higher than both of Alabama's wins?
Oh, don't you? You just said that Michigan State sucks.
I personally think Michigan State sucks, but I mean, if we're going to give Alabama credit for beating LSU and Mississippi State, Michigan State's ranked higher than both of them. And Ohio State, I think, went in and beat them by like almost 50. So, that's my 2 cents. Ohio State also won their bowl. They beat Wisconsin, who's also on Auburn's level, or won their conference, I'm sorry. But, you know, it is what it is. We're left with Alabama-Clemson year 3. I think Clemson has got the advantage. I think they've got a better quarterback, and I think they've got a better defense. So,
What would you say if Alabama ends up winning everything? National championship.
I would say congratulations to Alabama. I don't think you should have been in this thing, but you won it, so congratulations. But then again, Ohio State could have been in it and won everything too.
Yeah, they could have.
Hypothetical.
That's why we need a 16 playoff.
16? Get out of here. 64. No. I'd like to see an 8-team playoff. I'd also like to see...
The thing is, though, when you go to 8, you're always going to be talking about 9. I mean, that's the whole point.
I don't think so.
Debate.
I don't even think that's the case. I think now we talk about 4 because there's 5 power conferences and 5 power conference champions and only 4 get in. If you have 8, the 5 power conference champions should get in, and then you've got some at-large bids, which then you can compare resumes and get in. You may still talk about who's left out at 9 and 10, but I think you have less of a discussion than you do now with 5 and 6 and leaving a conference champion out. I also agree with on the first team this morning. They were talking about the group of 5 should get together and have their own version of a playoff with their schools, their conference champions, just at the end of the year instead of bowl games for some of those schools. And I think that would be interesting too.
No,
gives them something to play for at the end of the year too. Because they're not going to get into. They proved it this year. UCF 12th. You didn't even put them in the top 10, and they're the best one of the best non-Power 5 conferences, and they went undefeated, won their conference, and you're not going to put them in, or even close. So there's no shot for a non-Power 5.
Right.
There's no shot for a Boise State type school to make it in.
Right.
So I think that would be cool to see. I'd personally lobby for an 18 playoff, but I do see your argument that you're always going to argue about who gets left out.
I mean, I would like to see an 18 playoff. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be fun and be, very, very competitive when you're putting the top 8 against each other. I'm all for that. But there's always going to be a debate about who gets left out.
What I like about the 16...
But the thing is, though, when you have 8 teams like that, you're not going to really have... You're not going to have 8 undefeated teams. You have the 4, you could have the 5th undefeated is in the American Athletic Conference, where they feel like they've been left out. They should get the opportunity to play against in the national championship, but they don't. At least when you do 8, they're going to get in.
What I like about the 16 playoff is, top 5 is usually a marker for a lot of things. That's just kind of like a threshold 5. So if you have a 16 tournament, then you'll have your top 5 plus one that might have been a 5.
And you have to have...
Or 6, you can have your 1 and 2 have buys.
In that scenario, it gets a little tricky with 6, though. Because how do you format that?
For 1 and 2 get buys.
So you're going to put 1 and 2 get buys, and then 3 plays 6 and 4 plays 5?
Yeah. You could do something like that, yeah.
Then it's going to be an argument of who's 2 and who's 2
yeah.
versus 3. Getting that buy is uber important.
It's kind of like that now as it is. Like, who's going to play number 4 and who's going to play number 3?
I don't think there's one certain...
Yeah, but when you throw buy in, it gets a little...
Playoff, postseason that's going to answer all the questions.
It's not. None of these scenarios are ever going to please everybody. But if we had an 18 playoff this year, you know how mad I would have been if UCF got left out at 12? Oh, be mad I'd be for a 12.
There'd be a lot of mad people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think that was right either, and I'm not even a UCF fan, but I would think they would totally got shafted if they got left out.
So we got a little off course there, but our national championship for everybody, I've got Clemson versus Georgia. Jake has Oklahoma versus Bama. Mm-hmm. Derek, what do you have?
Oklahoma versus Clemson.
Oklahoma versus Clemson. Joe, what do you got?
Oklahoma versus Bama.
Oklahoma versus Bama. So you two Oklahoma versus Bama people, how do you think that would go?
I'm just going to keep riding the train, Oklahoma.
Really? All right.
Nobody likes to see Alabama win too much.
So you would go Sooners and you would go Baker Mayfield. Wow.
I am rooting for the Sooners, okay? Let this be clear and on record. I am rooting for the Sooners.
Hey, more power to you. I like this
bowl season.
He also said Oklahoma at the beginning of the season in the preview.
I like Baker Mayfield, so
I think I had Oklahoma Alabama in the championship.
I think you did.
I'd be happy to see Oklahoma win it all, but if they get matched up, Baker Mayfield's going to get killed. I think literally like DeAndre Francois killed.
Oh.
And
but it's not as great as they are Bama team.
Yeah, I think the defense would have its way with that offensive line. I don't think the offensive line of Bama's anything to write home about.
So you're saying Oklahoma will beat Clemson? They play them?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying if Oklahoma and Bama met, Bama would destroy Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion.
But they're not one of the top 4 teams in the country.
Based on the top 4 how you have to determine it, yeah, you're stirring the pot. That's great. that's awesome and all that. But if you're going to determine the top 4 like that, Oklahoma deserves to be in because they won their conference.
And I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. I think they absolutely deserve to be up there.
Clemson deserves to be in it. They won their conference, one loss.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Georgia won their conference, one loss. Alabama. Why?
The eye test. Duh.
Right, of course. And I mean, that's what the committee had to use to get in. And, you know, that it is what it is because they're Alabama. Because it's Nick Saban, they get a free pass. They can lose and not win their conference. Nobody else can, but they can. Because if Ohio State would have got in...
Ohio State did it.
Last year, right. If Ohio State... And, you know, remember how mad Nick Saban was? He said, this team, no team that doesn't win their conference championship should be in the playoff. This team doesn't deserve to be here. Blah, blah,
No,
blah.
you've said this like every day now.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
He has a hate boner for Alabama.
No. I don't see how they're given this free pass, in my opinion. I don't think their strength of schedule is anything to be talked about. Wisconsin went 12-1. They were in their conference championship game. Yeah, they lost, but they didn't have a great strength of schedule either. They're very comparable to Alabama, actually.
I think your analysis of the Bama-Oklahoma matchup is the whole point behind a eye test, is it not? You said if Alabama plays a deserving top 4 team, they would destroy Oklahoma. So isn't that the
I don't
eye
think it's
test?
a good matchup for Oklahoma. That's all I'm saying about that. There's matchups that go into that.
Okay, but at the end of the day, if you're looking at the best teams in the country, who wins out of those best teams in the country?
Auburn. Auburn destroyed Alabama. Auburn should be in over Alabama in that scenario. If you're going to go like
Not
that.
necessarily, because they've lost. They have 3
Auburn
losses.
beat Alabama by 12, and they should have beat them by like 25.
And they also beat Georgia by like 30 and then lost by 30.
Okay.
So that shows that it's not like they're consistently, and they had 3 losses.
Auburn and Alabama played once. Auburn destroyed Alabama. So you're just going to hypothetically say, oh, I think Alabama would play better the second time around, so that's why they should be in.
I'm just saying that based off how they handled Georgia in 2 games, that it's not set in stone.
You're saying Alabama deserves to be in the top 4 because I think they would beat Oklahoma, who's in the top 4. I think Auburn would beat Alabama. Actually, I know Auburn would beat Alabama because they've already done it. But Auburn doesn't deserve to be in the top 4.
I'm just saying that the
If
committee...
we're going to use exclusively eye test, Auburn should be in over Alabama because you literally saw them beat Alabama pretty easily.
And then you saw them lose to another top 4 team, Georgia, and you saw them lose 2 other times.
Okay. But you saw them at the end of the year beat Alabama.
And then get destroyed by Georgia.
Right.
Like, absolutely destroyed.
Right. And they absolutely destroyed Alabama. I'm not sure where you're getting how Alabama deserves to be in over Auburn over this. Why does Alabama deserve to be in over Auburn?
I'm using the eye test, so...
Oh, you saw Auburn and Alabama play. Auburn beat Alabama.
And I saw them lose 3 times this season.
Okay. But you're going to tell me that Auburn's not as good as Alabama, even though you saw them beat Alabama.
Yes.
Okay. That's fair then. If you're going to say that, then that's fine. That's fine. But I disagree. And
Oh, clearly.
no, yeah, I mean, we all know how I feel about this. I don't think Alabama deserved to be in the top 4 based on the way that the committee runs the playoff. If you're not going to be consistent, it's a mess. You're not much better than the BCS if you're going to be crazy. At least the BCS had consistent formulas.
Yeah, but this is the 4th year that they're doing this now? The first 3 years they put all the conference champions in. So this is the first year where there's an anomaly because there's not...
Last year,
What?
Ohio State wasn't a conference champion.
Penn State was.
Okay, and Penn State ended up number 5, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So Ohio State ends up number 5 as conference champion, and a non-conference champion comes in. That's pretty consistent to me. I mean, based off the eye test,
That's not pretty consistent.
Ohio State lost to a
Ohio
top
State
4
beat
team.
3 top 10 teams last year. Alabama didn't beat a single top 15 team this year. How is that consistent? It's not.
Based off of who they beat on their schedule. Oh, Wisconsin played no top 25 teams. They were undefeated, and they put them in. Okay, they ended up beating what? They beat Michigan?
Are you talking about this year?
Yeah,
Michigan wasn't
this year.
ranked when they played.
Northwestern, the team they beat that was ranked.
Okay, top 15 teams. We're talking top 15 teams
Okay.
about Alabama?
That's fine.
Wisconsin didn't, and they were in the top 4 until they played their conference championship game. and
Because
lost.
they hadn't lost.
Right.
Alabama was number 1 until they lost, even though they didn't play.
Right, well, they started off the year number 1, and they had no reason to be taken out of that spot based off of who they played. My point is,
So you would
the
take a
schedule
guy-
that they were given, they won 11 of those 12.
If you're going to go by the schedule that they were given, why not UCF then? That was the schedule UCF was given.
UCF is out of the question here. I'm not talking about them because
Why?
I think they get an unfair shot. And that is, I think, something we both side on. I don't think the group of 5 teams do not get the same treatment that Power 5 teams do. Okay. And I don't think that that's fair to compare them just because they won all of their games, that they deserved to have better representation than they got.
Alabama gets a pass on their schedule because they were given their schedule. And nobody else gets a pass because they were given that schedule. Wisconsin was given that schedule. They handled it up until the conference championship game. Alabama didn't even get a chance to play in the conference championship game because they didn't earn it.
So you would say a number 1 team, because they didn't play great people, they should just keep getting jumped week over week until they're out of the top 4? I mean, week one they beat the number.
Go back to 2014 when Florida State was number 1 to start the year.
That's what I was going to say.
Dropped to number 3. They went undefeated. Won their conference. Still dropped to number 3. Even though they went undefeated because the committee said they didn't play anybody.
Who'd they get hot by?
Oregon, and I believe Alabama that year. Because Oregon beat them in the semifinal.
Yeah, both of them were undefeated. I will say that. Those two teams that jumped them were also undefeated.
And I'm sure Florida State didn't play the number 2-3 team in the country game week 1.
And
right?
Alabama did get jumped by Georgia this year when Georgia was undefeated and Alabama was undefeated.
Oh, yes.
Georgia
did
the
jump week before Alabama lost, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So Georgia did jump them. So they have done that again. Rightfully so. I thought Georgia deserved to be number 1 over Alabama based off of who they played and how they won. So, I mean, they have done it. So, there's that to be said. Anyway, we still don't know who you would pick between Georgia and Clemson, and we don't know who you would pick between Clemson and Oklahoma.
We'll go with Derek.
I think Clemson's going to win it all. Again.
Wow.
For me, Clemson versus Georgia in the final. It's 2 very balanced teams.
Personally, I think that would be a boring game, but
you think so? You don't think it would be high scoring like the Georgia or the
No,
Clemson Bama games? I never thought the Clemson Bama games would be high scoring, but then we saw 2 of them.
That's
in a
true.
row.
That's true. That's very true.
I don't know if we'll see a third one like that. I think it's going to be low scoring this year.
Yeah.
That matchup, Clemson versus Georgia, I would. It's tough because if you look at mutual opponents, like Jake was alluding to, Georgia handled Auburn pretty easily. Georgia got handled by Auburn.
Right.
And then came back to beat them, so it's kind of a mixed bag there.
Sure.
And Clemson beat Auburn early on in the season 14-6. So it was before Stidham really got going, but Clemson's defensive line is the best in the country. I think Jake Fromm would have a tough time. I think Georgia would have to run outside the tackles to get anything going on the ground.
Sonny Michel would have to be their key guy.
But I kind of agree with you in the boring game. I think it would be a little more on the low-scoring side. I think Georgia would eke it out. I think Georgia would win the national championship if they went up against Clemson in the final, which is interesting because Jake Fromm is not a national championship quarterback in my opinion.
No, but neither is
I think
Jalen Hurts. You know?
That's true. I think Kelly Bryant's closer to it, but you're right.
I don't think Kelly Bryant is either. I think he's closer than the other 2.
Right.
You know, as far as the playoffs concerned, strictly on a quarterback level,
Oklahoma's got the best.
Oklahoma is the best quarterback that's most poised for a national championship. So
you think Georgia has the easiest track to Natty this year?
If they were the 1 seed, I think it would be a little bit easier for them. I think if they went up against Bama week 1, I think they would handle Bama. And then whoever they got in the second one. But Oklahoma's a tough draw, round 1, but Oklahoma's proven again multiple times that they don't have a defense. So they're facing the worst team in terms of balance because all the other teams are balanced at least.
So you got both Oklahoma, right?
Both Clemson.
I'm
sorry. You have Clemson, I have Georgia. Sorry.
you flip-flopping already?
Sorry.
But the team that doesn't deserve to be up there is not going to win. We're all in agreement. Bama will not win this.
I think we're all in agreement with that.
We're all in agreement.
Yeah.
And to go
I'm
back
surprised you guys
to go
took
back to
Oklahoma.
what you were talking about, Florida State 2014. They played Oklahoma State, which was unranked, but that was the first game of the year. Beat Clemson, who was ranked, and beat Notre Dame, who was ranked 5.
And they dropped after those wins. I think I remember that.
It was
That's crazy.
It was more because of the
wins. that they
constant games that they were down by a lot and came
Yeah,
back.
came back.
They were down a lot to Boston College.
We
They
were
were down
down
a
to
lot to Louisville.
We were down to a lot to
They were
Miami.
this year's
Came back in
they were
Miami.
this year's Miami.
Right. Exactly.
Miami trailed most games this year and came back in the second half. Florida State that year, like you were saying, trailed a ton and won in the fourth quarter. with
High blood
Jameis
pressure
Winston.
for Florida State fans.
And they actually were competitive in that Oregon game before the second half.
Yeah.
The second half
Then it
got
got
going.
ugly.
Turnovers
It
changed
got
the
ugly quick.
face of the game.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. So that's our bowl cast. Alabama doesn't deserve to be in. At least we all agree on that. And that's about it. Is that what we agreed on?
Is that how all that ended?
I thought so. I thought that's how we talked about it. But all right. I guess I could have been a little confused. I blacked out for a few minutes.
Yeah.
You think?
All right. You guys good with the bowl cast?
Why is it still going?
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.